This is the unlikely story of the 640-acre Mile Square Regional Park, one of the largest fully developed parks in Orange County, California. To fully understand the history of Mile Square Park, we first must look at the history of Orange County. Orange County is a small coastal county nestled between Los Angeles County in the north and San Diego County in the south. For all of its early history, Orange County was a rural area made up of farms and ranches. With so much undeveloped land at the time when the population of Southern California was exploding, it was only a matter of time before the land became much more valuable than the farms operating on them. Following the building of critical infrastructure like highways and trolley lines linking Orange County with Los Angeles in the 1940s and 50s, a building boom unlike anything that had ever been seen before in the nation began. Now, 70 years later, the county is home to 3.2 million residents, making it the third most populous county in California, as well as the sixth most populous county in the United States. The small county has more people than the 19 least populated states in the country, and is the second most dense county in California, trailing behind only San Francisco. To put it into further perspective, Orange County has roughly the same population as neighboring San Diego County to the south, but Orange County is a mere 948 square miles, whereas San Diego County spans 4,260 square miles. One of the reasons for this density is poor initial urban planning. Developers were not interested in using their valuable real estate for public parks or other open spaces. It would take a dedicated county commissioner to change that, and his first project happened to be the catalyst that brought over 600 acres of continuous open green space to one of the most densely populated areas in the county. In the early 1960s, David Baker ran for county supervisor on the platform of providing regional parks in Orange County, and he won. Once in office, Baker contacted Richard Ramella and said he'd just come back from a secret meeting in Washington, D.C. to talk with the Navy about buying unused Navy land in Fountain Valley for a county regional park. The naval outlying field Mile Square was initially used for aircraft carrier deck qualification practice, and later by the Marine Corps for helicopter training. The airfield was originally one of 5 naval outlying airfields, or NOLFs. Ramella worked nights and weekends developing the plans in order to avoid arousing opposition, mainly from R.C. Hoyles, publisher of the Santa Ana Register, who used his newspaper as a means of amplifying his opinions on government and economics, as well as developers who would want to buy the newly available acreage. At that time, the county had just 2 regional parks, the original Orange County Park, now called Irvine Park, and O'Neill Park. In 1965, the California State Legislature, reacting to overdevelopment problems throughout the state, passed the Quimby Act, which requires developers to set aside land for parks or pay fees for park improvements. In March of 1967, with the climate surrounding public open spaces much improved, Ramella's proposal was formally presented to the Navy and later the Interior Department for approval. The committee was able to persuade supervisors to adopt a standard for parkland, requiring 10 acres of recreational land for every 1,000 county residents. Unfortunately, this would do little to improve the already densely packed North County, but it would be the driving force behind the development of South Orange County, most likely contributing to the massive wealth gap between North and South County cities. That same year, the county got the original strip of land that would one day become Mile Square Park on a $1 lease for 100 years. In 1973, the Navy Department formally declared the perimeter around the airfield to be surplus land, and the county was given the title to the perimeter acreage at no cost under the Federal Legacy Parks program. In 1970, the first 85-acre phase of Mile Square Regional Park was opened. Phase 2, which added baseball diamonds and a children's play area, was completed in 1973. At this time, the airfield was still in operation, but the military would cease operations at the airfield for good in 1974. In 1976, Phase 3 of the development saw the park expanded further northward to its current boundary. The park's Phase 4 development commenced in the spring of 1987, bringing an 18-hole executive golf course, complete with clubhouse, driving range, and banquet facility to the park. In 1975, the county received an annual permit to operate the center triangle of the airstrip for public recreation. The old 3 paved runways were designated by the park for a while to be used for land sailing and radio-controlled model aircraft, but they were torn up by the year 2000 to make room for expansion of the surrounding golf course. In 2017, a county audit found an accounting error and concluded that the operator of 2 of the 3 golf courses at Miles Square Park underpaid their rent and owed the county $3.6 million. Unable to pay the amount owed, the company gave up one of its courses, and the 93 acres was placed back into control of the county. In 2021, a proposed master plan to develop all 93 acres was released. In November of 2023, Phase 1 was completed, and the 93-acre former golf course was open to the public. This phase saw very little alteration to the 93 acres and basically just opened the former golf course land to the public. In December of that same year, Orange County Board of Supervisors approved a design-build contract for Phase 2. Phase 2 includes an 8-acre open field called the Great Meadow, a tree-lined grand promenade walking and bike path, a 5-acre civic plaza, a botanical garden, a wetlands garden, and an expansion of the existing nature walk. For the kiddos, there will be a new adventure playground, and the current Camp Sycamore will be moved to a larger 2-acre plot of land. As of this writing, Miles Square Regional Park and its lessees sit on a total of 640 acres. Within this acreage exist 2 golf courses, the Fountain Valley Municipal Sports Complex and local Boys and Girls Club, an archery range, 6 baseball fields, 2 fishing lakes, public barbecue and picnic tables, multiple playgrounds, bike and paddle boat rentals, nature camping for children, a nature walk, soccer fields, an event hall, and volleyball courts. The irony of this whole story is that although developers universally opposed the Quimbley Act, which set a standard requirement for public open spaces, they ultimately grew to love it because they discovered that sidewalks and parks raise the value of each property. So in the end, developers were able to make just as much money or more while building less houses. Although there is far more parkland in Orange County today, there is still a large disparity of open space between North and South counties. Because of the original poor planning, North Orange County is much more crowded and property values are much lower than post-Quimbley Act developments to the south. As such, Miles Square Regional Park is still an extremely important place for many in the surrounding communities who were unable to benefit from the Quimbley Act at the time of construction. Today, OC Parks oversees 60,000 acres of regional parkland, nature preserves, wilderness parks, historical facilities, and coastal facilities throughout the county.